311.
Happy
My anniversary. 18 years with a wonderful woman.
Wow.
Thank you, John, for putting up with my BS.
Did you guys go to New Orleans to the 311 concert?
No, she does like 311. They're kind of like a surfer band to me.
Whoa.
Man. It's like,
Nothing wrong with that.
no, I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. My choice, Godsmack 311. I'm going Godsmack. I'd like to see that Pantera deal with Zach Wilde in that. That's got to be good. But
I think I've seen 311 25 times.
Damn, jeez,
They're always
it's
around.
like Ryan Donahue and Fish
A little bit.
with the P. Yeah, the quarterback carousel is crazy. Russell Wilson, obviously, like Ben said, started off the weekend saying he's going to Pittsburgh on a one-year deal. But then you had all these other quarterbacks that are looking to make deals all over the place. And that once he settled, I'm sure, on the Steelers, it probably upped the ante for Kirk Cousins. And I thought it was funny because I'm watching an Instagram video of Kirk Cousins at like a bounce house with his kids for his son's birthday, and he's up on this rope deal. Now he is tethered in, he is locked in, so he can't really fall. But you know, if you're the NFL team and you see this guy coming off an ankle injury, that's one place I don't want this guy hanging out. Trampolines and walking across the ceiling and that kind of stuff. But 4 years, $180 million. How much improvement, though, can he really make to the Falcons? I mean, I think the Steelers are a pretty good football team, and that's a tough division. But the Falcons, if they could get a little bit better, man, they could win that division.
Well, they have a lot of talent, especially in the passing game. I'm still a believer in Kyle Pitts, the tight end that they've had for a while,
right.
And I'm a fan of Drake London, a 2-year guy now going into his third season. And one thing about these quarterbacks, like, it's not necessarily – like, I understand that Kirk Cousins' mobility, even before an Achilles tear, is going to be limited. I know that his arm strength is going to deteriorate as the games go on. But the one thing that won't is, like, he knows route running just as good as receivers. He knows where he can have his receivers into, you know, against different defensive sets and different looks that these guys may have never thought of before. A way that you communicate with your quarterback while you're running your route in what you do. I was always fascinated when Peyton Manning went to Denver and started teaching Demaryius Thomas how to actually play the position when he's been playing at a high level Pro Bowler
and they
for a long
loved him,
time.
Man.
Right.
He delivered the ball perfectly.
And
he
just
made them better.
Kind of made it simple for them. It totally changed their minds in the way they looked at offense. And I think Kirk Cousins will bring that to the table as well. And I would say that the dominoes did fall kind of in that direction when the Steelers signed Russell Wilson. That is the freebie that's off the table because he's already getting paid by Denver. It's an easy pickup. The Giants were talking to him on top of the Raiders and some other teams as well. So the Steelers made the move real quick because they know that, you know, that bargain deal isn't going to last that long. Once that happened, and then Baker Mayfield getting signed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which, by the way, congrats to him.
We love that dude.
He's going to make more money in this next year, this contract, than he has his entire career in the NFL, and that's a guy who totally deserves it. And so does Kirk Cousins. As far as a guy that's like played the system into making the most money.
They franchised him to death with the Commandos or Commanders, and you know, you've weathered the storm. You went to Minnesota, showed everybody you could play for real. You did get injured, which sucks, but you know, at 33 years old, they're saying, "Hey, listen, this is our guy. You know, for the next at least 3-4 years, and we're going to pay $100 million guaranteed." That's easy money for this dude. Now you just worry about playing football, like you said. And they also have Bijan Robinson, right? So you got a good running back as well. So there's a lot of good parts to this Falcons team.
And whenever I think of the NFC South, I always think it's the most winnable division. And
you can win it with a losing record.
And now, like, the battle is between Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and Bryce Young's second year in this league with the Carolina Panthers. So, yeah, like a 8-9 can potentially win this thing. So I think that the defensive side of the ball is pretty shored up. They've got talent all over the place. They just didn't really know what they were doing with their quarterback in the last 3 years, and maybe they have an answer. I don't know if he's going to play out the 4, but I know they got an answer for 2024.
Huge news because the Giants, they really look like they missed the boat here. Saquon Barkley, 3 years, $37.5 million, $29 million guaranteed, but that's not breaking the bank stuff. We talked to Al Gattuso last Friday. They were trying to downgrade him to about $8 to $10 million, somewhere in there. So you're talking $12.5 million per. going to the Eagles. Here's the difference, though. The Eagles, another offensive lineman retired. So it's not just what's his face anymore. You got 2 All-Pro linemen that have both retired. Yeah. So and Cox is gone as well.
Fletcher Cox.
Right. So you've got 3 big parts. Lee, but Saquon Barkley, obviously, really good running back, stays in the division, which as a Cowboy fan, I hate and dread because I want him to go to Dallas. But that is a very team-friendly deal by Saquon Barkley.
And it's a running back. He's proven with the New York Giants he doesn't need a full complementary of starting offensive linemen to actually put up numbers. So, yeah, I do think they did agree to a 4-year deal with Landon Dickinson, the offensive guard there for the Philadelphia Eagles. That was a no-brainer after the 2 guys that they lose up front.
Right.
They do replace Fletcher Cox a little bit, but it's almost impossible. They signed free agent Julian Akarwa to a deal. He's just a straight-up linebacker. Can play inside, outside, but a couple of edge rushers as well. Bryce Huff signed a 3-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. Brandon Graham got a 1-year extension on the outside as well. So that they're making moves. That's the one thing I'll say about the Philadelphia Eagles is not satisfied, especially with what happened last year. And they are very close with the roster that they have. It's just crazy to me that they pay that price tag for that awesome player from that team that's in their division. That's crazy to me. Crazy.
Packers are going to sign Josh Jacobs and release Aaron Jones. So Packers get a huge young running back. So they're talking about bringing in 26-year-old Josh Jacobs now and cutting Aaron Jones. He's been informed he is going to be released, according to Adam Schefter.
Won't be long, though. He will be picked up. Now, it won't be a long-term deal, but somebody definitely will sign him. Maybe it's your boys. The Cowboys do not get Saquon Barkley as he goes to their rival, the Eagles, but also Tony Pollard agrees to a deal with the Tennessee Titans. So thin at running back right now for the Dallas Cowboys.
They got to get somebody.
They got to get somebody. I don't know. Mac Jones going to Jacksonville. The New England era of Mac Jones has come to an end. This was a high draft pick not too long ago for the New England Patriots trying to fill the void of Tom Brady.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that you had so much turnover the last couple of years. We saw this years ago with Alex Smith when you had a different offensive coordinator almost year in and year out. It can't be easy for a quarterback in the NFL. And they did the same thing to Mac Jones the last 2 years. You had 2 years ago, you had a couple of guys, and then Matt Patricia, he comes in and he's a defensive guy and he's one of the offensive coordinators. And then last year, Bill O'Brien, he didn't really help the cause, and it's not easy to that's why it says not for long in the NFL, because you have things that are not within your control, and coaching changes that are not within your control can hurt you if it's not the guy that is going to help you and make you better. I mean, that's what I think. Coaches are there to put you in a position to succeed. And a lot of times when you're bringing in somebody new, he's trying to keep his job. He's also trying to make you better, but he's also got a lot of other things. He's juggling a lot of things at the same time. So I'm not a big fan when you don't have an offensive coordinator that's been there for an extended period of time.
So they did re-sign Kendrick Bourne. He signed a 3-year, $19.5 million deal. Hunter Henry also signed just before we went to the weekend. That is another 3-year deal. So they're trying to stay steady with their offensive power and probably going to add to that as well. But the most interesting thing with this Mac Jones going to Jacksonville is they have the 3rd overall pick. They have nobody really to play quarterback unless you want to put the starting role on Bailey Zappi right now, which I don't think anybody in this room wants to do. So if it's Caleb Williams, let's say he's off the board. If it's Jaden Daniels, he's off the board. Now what do the New England Patriots do at number 3? Is it Drake May? Do they love him so much? Is that why they sent Mac Jones packing? I don't know, but all eyes will be on the New England Patriots with that 3rd pick.
I know we're talking QBs, but the guys that are up front blocking for him, John Runyon signs a 3-year, $30 million deal. He's played 50 the last 51 games for the Packers.
That's a good one,
He is a left and a right guard. He can switch either one. So Packer guard John Runyon, now a Giant guard for $30 million.
That's a good one.
Yep.
There's one good deal there, Giants. I'm just floored by that.
Rams signed another big boy, Jonah Jackson, $51 million deal. So you're getting guys to block for the guys that need protection, and then you got to get the guys that can throw the ball. So honestly, I love Kirk Cousins. I always have. I just like when you're down on people. Baker Mayfield, couldn't be happier for that boy because he was not getting the respect that I think he deserves. And I think a lot of it comes from the people that talk in a lot of these shows. We're basically on this guy coming out of college, and it's unfortunate, but he's weathered the storm. We get TJ Reeves when it's finalized after the 13th. I wanted to wait, make sure everything's done. And
I say wait till after the draft, too, because we'll see what else they add to that roster. They've had people, ever since the Tom Brady Super Bowl year, they've been trying to make the roster as far as the salary cap right. But also a lot of those guys on defense were a little bit older, and some of those guys Tommy brought in were a little bit older on offense, too. But I love that Mike Evans is signed up, and so is Baker. And I think that combination, they're going to love each other for the next 3 years. And I think watch out for the rest of the league. You got to have a safety fading over that side of the football, even if he just lines up. That's all you got to do. Wide receiver drama in Ohio, starting with the Cleveland Browns. Jerry Jeudy acquired from the Broncos for just a 5th and 6th round pick.
I like Jerry Jeudy.
So Jerry Jeudy, your other fave that's not a Cowboy anymore, Amari Cooper, they're going to be on the same football field at the same time. That's pretty cool.
Amari has just still been steady and great, man. I like a steady player, man.
And this takes pressure off of him. Jerry Jeudy, more of an outside guy. Amari, I know, has been, but I like him in the slot role as well, and maybe he can work in and out. Don't forget about that monster tight end Njoku that they've got. They've got a pretty good offense that they're building, and their defense was spectacular last year. The Bengals franchised T. Higgins about, Thursday of last week, and now has requested a trade. He's on track to make $21.8 million for just this season.
But he wanted a long-term deal.
Yeah,
and he's very disappointed that they couldn't get him an extension. I don't know, $21 million in Ohio goes a long way. You could try to work out a deal, and a lot of these teams end up getting the deal done once they know how much their finances and what the cap is and all that kind of stuff. Because, like you said, after the draft, you got guys that you're going to bring in,
and you still have Boyd on the team, and my guy from LSU, that's the best receiver on that squad. Come on.
Tip my tongue.
But when you've got 3 good receivers, like the leverage isn't there for the other receiver that's just got franchised to make a lot of, terms and conditions when it comes to his contract.
Jamar Chase.
Why did I forget that guy? They're still dynamite, man.
They are dynamite.
If they get, if he gets what he wants and gets a trade, there's going to be a lot coming in return for T. Higgins.
Absolutely. And that, honestly, that's like a 3 and a 4-headed monster. And, even your tight end has been huge there. And so, that'll be disappointing if you break up that fearsome threesome. We'll take a quick break, come back, do the first Sibs question of the day, then who we had. But I'm very interested in talking to Bob Joyce from Mohegan at 4:25 as the women's Big East tournament rolls on with the finals tonight. It's the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive. Thank you so much for keeping us on the air. It's Champion Monday here on Fox Sports Radio.